Hey everyone, today is Thursday, January the 4th, and I felt today was a good time to take my gloves off and really start tackling this debt. Now, I had accomplished this last year. It felt so good to not owe anybody anything, and I'm talking about credit card bills and other types of debt. But I've incurred some more credit card debt, partly because I started my online business. And of course, to start any business, you do need money. Never let anyone tell you you can start a business with no money. It just doesn't happen, okay? So I made that decision, I made that choice, but now I'm having to deal with the consequences of credit card bills. And I only have two major credit cards that I dedicate solely for my business. I will not be including those two credit cards in this debt tackling. I use my business to tend to those, so I'm not really worried about those. But these personal credit cards that I have, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 here. I've already listed them. I've already listed the balances. These are real and true balances as of today, January the 4th. I have not ranked them yet because I wanted to share that part with you. And I'm going to be using my No Bad Days notepad as my debt diary. Now, I've listed my two credit cards for my business debt, but again, we won't be talking about business debt because this is personal. This is something that I feel I want to free myself of, and this is how I plan to do it. So, as I mentioned, I have these 7 credit cards. I'm gonna rank them by lowest to highest because when I paid off my debt the first time, I snowballed my debt. It was great. It happened faster than I thought it would. Part of me used savings challenges, and the other part was me basically putting my mind to it and making extra payments even when it wasn't due. That's what I did to pay them off. But today we're going to tackle this in a snowball method way and just make it do what it do. So the lowest one I have so far is Incure. That's $199.38. The next lowest is my Venture card, which is $374. Let's see, the next lowest is my Ally card, $585.69. That's number 3. Then comes my Saver card, $750. That's number 4. And next will come my Silver card. That's number 5. Cash Reward card is number 6, and Go Rewards is number 7. Now, Go Rewards is the highest. It's at $4,448.69. And can I pay this off right now using what's in my savings? Yes, I could. But I didn't build up my savings to pay off credit card debt. I built up my savings so that I could have something in case of an emergency that pops off. But that's neither here nor there. I can pay it off if I wanted to, is the thing. But then all I would have to rely on is this credit card if an emergency pop up. Then I'm back in debt again. So my idea is to pay off these the best way I can. And what has worked for me before is snowballing. So what I plan to do is take the lowest balance and tackle that, and then pay the minimum or just a little above minimum on each of these others. I never like to just pay the minimum amount on my bills. If I can pay a little extra on them, I will. And so that's what my plan is. But let me go ahead and total this up as of today, January 4th. Grab this calculator here. All right, 585.69 plus 4448.69 plus 2398.82 plus 199.30 8 plus 750 plus 374 plus 1262 and 50. Ooh, $10,019.08. That's actually not as bad as I thought. $19.08, but that's probably because I'm not including my business debt cards. $10,019.08. How I used to try to tackle this debt is I would simply divide this by how many payments I want to do it. So say for instance, I wanted to get this balance paid off in 7 months. Now that probably won't happen, but I'm just giving you an example. So if I wanted to get this balance paid off in 7 months, I would take that amount, total amount, and I would divide it by 7. That meant I had to spend $1,432, basically, that's, I'm rounding up here, $1,432 covering these bills every month. And somewhere between this number and 7 months, I should be finished paying off these balances. And so I would take the $1,431 and divide it by 7, because that's how many accounts I have. So that means I would need to pay at least $204 or $205 on each account every month, regardless of what the minimum balance, the minimum payment is. That's one way that I used to do my snowballing. I would just take the whole balance, divide it by however many months I wanted to use to pay it off, and then I would take that amount and divide it by how many cards I have, and then I would make sure that each account received $205 every single month. And after 7 months, all of this debt should be wiped off, if that makes sense. That's a form of snowballing that I used to do. And it's not the typical snowball method, but it was just something that I felt worked for me at the time when I had credit card debt. And actually, I had way more credit cards than this. I closed, canceled, got rid of a lot of credit cards because they really and truly aren't necessary. They weren't necessary for me. So I closed them. But I'm left with 7 credit cards. And if I were to do it that way, I could pay $205 on each for 7 months. Times 7 cards. That would equal $1,435 per month. And for me right now, that's not reasonable because I have other bills that I am responsible for. So instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is try the snowball method. And that means the first bill that I would tackle is this $199.38. And that bill actually probably could be paid off month number 1. So if I pay off $199.38, the minimum payment on that is generally $30. So if I pay $199.38 off, pay that off, then I would apply my $30 that I would normally have paid toward this bill to the next highest bill, which is my venture, $374. My venture bill, I generally have to pay $40 per month. So instead of paying $40, I would pay $70. So I would pay $199.38, pay that one off, apply the $30 minimum I normally would pay, and put that one towards the venture and pay $70. That would leave that balance at $304. The next month, if I could pay off $304 and apply the $70 towards my Ally account, plus its minimum of, generally it's low, so it's generally $25. That would be $95, right? 70, 80, 95. I would put towards my Ally account. And then that would go down to 400 and something. So that's the way the snowball method works. You take the minimum that you've been applying to the lowest and you apply it towards the next lowest, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. And then eventually that amount builds up so much so that you're probably ended up paying, by the time I get to Go Rewards, I would be paying probably that $205 plus whatever the gold rewards minimum is. So that's what I'm going to try to do, and you'll take this journey with me. I'm going to take my diary here, turn to the first page. Today is Thursday, January 4th. Dear debt, you currently have me $10,019.08 in the hole. I could have chose a different route, but I didn't. So here we are. Don't try and stop me. Today is day 1 of my debt-free journey. So, my dear debt frenemy, that's what I'm calling it, my debt frenemy, your future is limited. Sign, Melissa. Stick around to see how I plan to tackle my debt and what decisions I make. Thanks, guys, for joining.